Bay Area is experiencing a different kind of doom loop than what we have seen in the past. According to a team of journalists at the Chronicle, it's being driven by an aging population. Data shows the region is now the third oldest among 20 of the country's largest metro areas and is aging faster than any other. As birth rates fall, immigration slows, and young people leave due to the high housing costs here. The population is skewing older with fewer children and working-aged adults. For more insight now, we're joined by Dan Kopf, the San Francisco Chronicle's data and research senior editor. Thank you so much for joining us, Dan.
Great to be here.
All right, so Dan, in 2024, your research found less than 19% of the area's population was under 18. In San Francisco, it was 13.5%, the second lowest share of the nearly 150 counties in the U.S. As a benchmark here for our viewers, what's considered standard here for a younger population in a city of our size?
Well, many other places have shares 20% or above even for that. And, San Francisco has long been on the lower side, but it has gone down quite a bit over the last 20 years.
Do we know what's contributing to that number going down?
Yeah, I think, you hit on it earlier, but primarily housing is
Wow.
one of the main answers. So the region and San Francisco itself has built less housing than places like the Central Valley and Texas and other parts of the country. And that's contributed to affordability issues that have led people, and particularly young people with families, to leave the region. And so that's mostly the driving force. But of course, there's also just general demographic change. People are getting older. The country in general is getting older. It's happening faster here, but it is happening all over the country.
The long-term issue here of having older folks versus younger folks, tell us a little bit about why this is an issue in the long term.
Yeah, well, it's really going to change everything about our society, right? So as we're soon going to have more people over 65 than under 18, probably in the next couple of years. And that will mean, we'll need to have many more people in the healthcare services sector and to provide care for those folks. We'll have, needing to provide all sorts of services, whether it be transit and other things, as we have an increasing number of people in their 70s and 80s. And it also change the culture, right? So with a older population, that means nightlife needs to change, and the theaters. And we learned that at concerts they've been asked to get more seats for people because people want to be able to sit down at concerts. And I'd say one other major factor is schools, right? So as you know, there's been a lot of talk about the need to close schools across the Bay Area and San Francisco, and that's probably going to continue.
So what needs to happen here? Do city leaders, are they looking at this, or state leaders looking at this already? And, the issue of housing has long been a problem here. Do they need to step on the gas pedal here and speed things up and getting more housing so the population doesn't get so much older?
Yeah, I think politicians here are quite aware of the issue, right? And they know that more needs to be done. So, for example, Prop 13, which keeps people's property taxes low, is one of the reasons that people may want to stick around in their house or not move to a retirement community. So there have been efforts to make it that people can retain their benefits from Prop 13 as they move. There's also been a lot of efforts to make it easier to build housing in San Francisco and on the west side, but particularly on the west side of San Francisco. But it hasn't really manifested quite yet. So I think that there is some hope that over the next few decades, there'll be more housing built. But even if we do build a lot of housing, we're still going to gray quite a bit just because the baby boomers are heading into their 70s and 80s.
Is there going to be a situation where this is going to be untenable, while the number of young people in our region going down, and we just won't be able to handle it?
Yeah, I think it's mostly that people will really feel the cultural change, right? The lack of children and sort of the effects on schools and some of the sort of infrastructure we're used to maybe needing to get smaller and change a lot is going to be a drastic and an emotional change for the community. And I think, the Bay Area being a wealthy region is probably going to be able to, withstand a lot of the issues, but it's really going to be wrenching to see all the sort of particularly schools closing, I would say.
What's the timeline, or is this just something that you're going to see happen over time, kind of slow at this glacial pace?
Yeah, I think it's one number I thought is interesting is that by 2055, we should have about half of the people in the region will be over 50. And actually, after that time, it should go down again because unfortunately, many of the boomers will be passing away at that point. So it's really the next 20 to 30 years that's going to be quite intense from this perspective as that really big cohort goes into the later stages of their life, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the region to take care of those people and serve them.
Really could change the face of the area that we live in right now. Dan Kopf, the San Francisco Chronicle's data and research senior editor, thank you for providing your insight. This is a troubling topic, to say the least here, but is one that needs to be followed, so we appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.